everyone to be more free to get their animals out, even if it means they end up where all of the characters end up at the end.
When you say not aspirational, I want you to say more, because I feel the original play was less generous than you are in really trying to understand, not necessarily defend, but understand Hedda's kind of motivations.
Well, I mean, she does really cruel things, and there's no excuse for them. However, just letting you know where my morality lies. But you understand like the impetus. Like every time she does a cruel act or tries to do a loving act or a positive act, something right before happens, and she's like immediately, boom, doing it, reactive, and I think we should all learn to love a bit better. But in the context of Hedda, I think she has aspirational aspects to her, you know, but she's not what we call a role model. But she never said she was a role model, so.
Tessa and Nia, this is your second collaboration. The first was Little Woods. Nia, did you know that you wanted Tessa for this lead role?
So when we were making Little Woods, every lunch, I'd be like, okay, so Tessa, I wrote this movie. It's about this artist, and she's kind of loses her mind. And then the next day, I'd be like, okay, so I wrote this movie, and it's about this and this person. And I'm like basically pitching her movies to do with me. and then I wrote Hedda, and I just knew it would be her. It wasn't a question in my mind. Like I know what she's capable of, and as always, she went above and beyond.
Tessa, you give a tour de force performance here. Hedda's a famously complex character. What was the process of you inhabiting this character, and did you feel a certain freedom in the fact that Nia kind of unmoored her from a very particular place and time and put her in this new era?
Yeah, I think so. I felt set free by the fact that I think it was inspired by the source material, but was its own audiences for so long, and certainly actors for so long. But I think if I had thought about that too much, although I watched every production I could get my hands on, I sort of ferociously studied the sense of what I think the performances were. I read reviews even of stage production. I really wanted to engage with it, but if I kind of then had to throw it away because if I thought about it too much, I couldn't find myself in it. And also, I was playing Hedda Gabler opposite Nina Haas, who played Hedda Gabler. So you know, I just really, it's a gift to get to do what we do, and I think our Hedda is as much constructed by my performance as it is Nina's performance as Eileen, and Imogen's performance as Thea, and all of the cast, but these women in particular. I think what we wanted to talk about or explore, or the provocation is kind of like, it's hard to have agency as a human, and then you add any of the particulars of a given time, and it gets even harder. And there's a way in which when we cut parts of ourselves off, it's like death by increments, you know? In the original play, Hedda, of course, spoiler alert, dies at the end of it. I think this Hedda is a woman who's like dying to live. And I think these are two women that are dying to live in different ways too. And so for me, what I made is they made it with me. I couldn't have done any of it without them, and so that set me free too.